life is your greatest gift. You'll never have anything greater. And to be in a place where you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally inept, where you disrespect the greatest gift that you have, which is yourself, then that's not your choice. That is the evidence of your behavior having been modified. And those ones who feel that they have entitlement to determine that we as a populace of the planet do not have the right to our lives, that we deserve to be exterminated because we've become useless eaters. This is an issue in terms of the marginalization, the anesthetization, the inebriation from the capitalism, laissez-faire, let the buyer beware, and then you got all of this garbage available to us. And we going for it. It is the path of adulteration. So by 21, we're labeled adult. No longer what the Creator intended. We know shame, game, guilt, blame. We are not thinking.
Welcome back to another episode of Women of Tomorrow. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Women of Tomorrow is a platform dedicated to the success and longevity of women. So if that is you, please take a moment to watch this video, subscribe, share, and comment. Hi, Adama. How are you?
I'm wonderful,
Welcome
Kayla.
back.
Thank you so much for having me. Forward.
I'm so happy. It's crazy because our part 1 just went live this past Sunday, October 6th, and we're here again. I needed to make sure, and I'm so glad that you obliged to come back for a part 2, because like you said, it's a conversation that can go on for days about what's happening in the world right now. And I just did not feel like we had enough time. So I wanted to circle back, bring it back one time. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? How are you feeling today?
I'm wonderful.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
I'm always inspired by the fit. I love that. I love it again. I want to jump right into it because I did come very prepared. Things that were on my mind since the last time we spoke, and also since the part 1 has gone live, just getting some clarity on a couple of things as well. One of the things that I feel is happening with us is the misconception that dis-ease in any form, whether it be very subtle or chronic, is inevitable. A lot of people assume like this, the whole thing, oh, I'm gonna die anyway, or everyone dies of something, and they use that as a way to I guess justify or excuse what they might be going through every day. And so I wanted to know if you could name, what are some of the daily common health issues that people ignore? Like, for instance, headaches, allergies, bloating. Like, these are things that most people are dealing with every single day, and they assume that it has nothing to do with their overall health and wellness.
The miseducation, where we got 4 food groups and whatnot, and thinking that the flesh of dead animals and the aborted fetuses of chickens, the dairy, the eggs, the cheese, that all of this is good for us. The United Dairy Council started in 1906 perpetuating the lies that this is health. And so we have yet to really, or now the responsibility we have is to realize that our bodies are perfectly and divinely designed, and they are not designed by white men. They're not designed by farmers or pharmacists or physicists or any of those ones. Our bodies are perfectly and divinely designed by the same intelligence that blazes the sun, has the earth spinning, right? And any dis-ease is a natural result of literally not knowing the law of the order of ourselves. All right, so the earth is 80% water spinning in the realm of eternity, right? These bodies are literally our space suits. We've come into these spacesuits through the wombs of our mothers, sparked by the sacred fluid of our fathers, and then we got absolutely no support in respecting the sacredness, the divinity, the sanctity of life or ourselves. All right? So eating anything that is not water-based or is going to convert to water where we can actually extract the minerals, the nutrients, the frequency of the sun and the earth from it, then is going to create congestion, constipation, blockage, and obstruction. Now, this is the methodology of our oppression, is to make sure that the blood is defiled. So all of the things that we're getting up in the morning and having, from the breakfast cereals, the oatmeals, the breads, the toast, the eggs, the cheese, the grits, the pancakes, waffles, breads, biscuits, all of that is going to literally impede the body's natural cleansing cycle. All right. So when we get up in the morning, right, then generally we'll go to the bathroom, we urinate, should defecate, brush our teeth, bathe. But after 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years of feeding off the carcasses of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows and whatever. This is why we're seeing so much bloating. This is why men are looking like they're 8 and 10 months pregnant, because our bodies are perfect and we cannot utilize it. It's not fuel for us. We have to be fueled.
Yeah.
All right. Food, as we know it, is the tool of our oppression. All right. And so the bloating, the gas, all of this is the evidence of the body's perfection, right? That you can't just eat it and then be good. That you're going to have some acid reflux, you're going to have some bloating, you're going to have some constipation, you're going to have some food poisoning, you're going to experience the headaches, which is the blockage and obstruction, right? So the body being 80% water, ideally our best way of creating optimum cellular functioning is from water-based things. So that's our herbs, our fresh fruit, our leafy greens, our vegetation. All the other stuff, we do not have to have it. We never had to have it.
We don't need it.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They say garbage in, garbage out. The garbage is not getting out.
It's not getting out.
And that's what the disease is.
Yeah. And I believe people are just defending their decisions to eat that way, and also just deal with whatever comes with it.
Well, truly the chemicals. Now, we're under chemical assault. You understand? And this is how come I'm not in a place where I can really just address food or veganism or vegetarianism without giving us a real understanding that we are under assault. We are being warred against. Our behavior has been modified in terms of the concentration, the saturation, and the contraindication of the nitrates, BHA, BHT, artificial colors, artificial flavors, preservatives, pesticides, herbicides, larvicides, hormones, antibiotics, and all of the chemicals.
Yeah.
The effect is that they've modified our behavior so that we are no longer able to do what all other intelligent creatures do, which is to exalt a full effort in our living.
That was the clip that we posted today.
Excrete the waste, know our kind, perpetuate ourselves, and be able to respond correctly when we sense that our lives are being threatened. But instead, we just pop the Tylenol, pop the NyQuil, pop the aspirin, pop the ibuprofen, go to the doctor, get more chemicals that are going to create more acidity, that are going to create more issues, and nobody ever tells us that the body is so perfectly and divinely designed that it is consciously caring to cleanse itself.
Yeah.
And we're blocking and obstructing
no one's
process.
Putting that connection together. They've done a really good job of just providing us with what they call modern science that's helping us to not feel the headache. Oh, I just take this, I won't feel the headache, but the root of the problem.
And it's all going to lead to the cancer. It's all going to lead to the heart disease. It's all going to lead to the diabetes. So the standard American diet, we really need to be very conscientious about the nature of the warfare. What is the point of it? To put us in a place where we are never able, we are not caring, we're not conscientious, we're not thoughtful or mindful to have an understanding that purpose in being on the planet is to exalt life. And nobody has been issued from any other realm of eternity into this realm to do anything other than live in the exaltation of the blessedness of being as living beings. Mm-hmm. And those ones who feel that they have entitlement to determine that we as a populace of the planet do not have the right to our lives, that we deserve to be exterminated because we've become useless eaters. You understand? See, this is an issue in terms of the marginalization, the anesthetization, the inebriation from the capitalism. You understand? Laissez-faire, let the buyer beware. And then you got all of this garbage available to us. Mm-hmm. And we going for it, but it is the path of adulteration. So by 21, we're labeled adult.
Yeah.
No longer what the Creator intended. We know shame, game, guilt, blame. We are not thinking. We can literally go through the process of miseducation, religious indoctrination, certification, licensing, and degreeing, and never be thinking, never be in harmony with the source of our being. Never have been supported in having an understanding that life is your greatest gift. You'll never have anything greater. And to be in a place where you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally inept, where you disrespect the greatest gift that you have, which is yourself, then that's not your choice. That is the evidence of your behavior having been modified.
Mm-hmm. How does one, because what I see a lot and I've experienced it myself before in my life, it's just not even being able to, like you said, think clearly to even make a different decision, to even open up your brain to say there could be a different way. What is the first step if you want to basically recenter yourself?
You have to really care. You understand? Because you'll never do something you don't care to do. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, the spirit that is in the body is of God, is of the intelligence of existence. It has come from another realm that is literally, we are in that which is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. Death is a program that's running here. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we really don't see the evidence of death anywhere in the air. Mm-hmm. We don't see it.
Yeah.
You understand? But the reality is just like evil. Evil doesn't exist except in the hearts and the minds of the people, but evil doesn't exist in the hearts or the minds of the people who have a clean bloodstream. Mm. You understand? And who have come to that point of care and conscientiousness and reverence and respect and appreciation and gratitude for the gift and the blessing in being. Mm-hmm. So to shift this, you have to care. It has to matter to you. I mean, you have to really think about it. What is your life about? What do you want? Mm-hmm. Just to be enslaved to your freaking appetite, desires, lust, and passions, to be in a place and space where you never walked in the greatness of who you were born to be, that you did not do any of the things that we were told to do in honoring that which is beating our hearts and breathing us. Thou shalt love thy mother, father, creator, God, thy Lord, the law, with your whole body, heart, mind, with all of your might. And a lot of times we come away from the church, but then we think that there was nothing there. And I'm saying that no, there was something there. It's just that the barbecue chicken after church, you understand, the alcohol after church, all of this is defilement of the blood. So you want to have to be clean. You want to be clean. You don't want to be sick. You don't want to live your life depending upon those who do not know what to do for you. When you go into the hospitals, they're good for trauma. You understand? They're trauma centers. They're good for trauma, but they do not support the wholeness of who we are as these points of the presence of an absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. Nobody is really exalting the divinity of ourselves.
I want to touch on that right there. I was going to ask about this later, but you're saying, you just mentioned the hospitals being the trauma centers. And I was going to just kind of briefly talk about, for me, I haven't been to a hospital in over 10 years. And I always tell my families, like, I will never, unless I got hit by a car or stabbed or a gunshot, don't take me. Right. Don't take me. I'm going to be the one responsible for my day-to-day wellness. I don't trust it. And I'm not mad about it, but I just see what it is. I see what's happening. And I ran across this quote. I believe, yes, it was Hippocrates. And he's supposed to be the father of modern medicine. And the quote is, if you are not your own doctor, you are a fool.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, that's y'all's guy. And he
Right,
said
supposedly,
that. Right.
Until the Rockefellers got into the game and created a whole nother agenda.
Yeah. And so what is your take on, I know you spoke briefly about it, but what really is your take on hospitals and general practitioners, doctors, people that are going to the doctor, you know, for every little thing? I remember one time I was asked, who's your gynecologist? And I said, me. And it was just like, ugh. And it was kind of looked at as like, you know, you don't know what you're doing. But it's like, no, I know what's going on. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, rather than putting it in the hands and getting diagnosed, misdiagnosed, and given a pill.
Well, you know, I want us to realize that everybody got it. In terms of the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, artificial colors, breakfast cereals, everybody got it. Mm-hmm. Now, we can be filled with feces, filled with acidity and poison, and matriculate and still get scholarships to go to school. You can become president. You can have your image put on postage stamps. You can be well known throughout the world for what it is you accomplished, and you never honored the truth of who you were. That's the kind of system that we're in. So the doctors, the lawyers, the CPAs, everybody that is feeding off of the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, artificial colors, artificial flavors, everybody needs cleansing, and everybody needs to be remembered. That, and remembering that they are these points of an absolute and supreme intelligence. It doesn't, you understand? Because it's the whole of us that are being warred against. So the doctors and all of that, and this is why we see so many have come to a point and place where they themselves got sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what motivated their shift. Mm-hmm. Those who come out of the profession, or they begin to literally look at the reality of how fresh fruit, leafy greens, vegetation, and all of this adds to you. But instead, we're still part of a system of oppression. The system of oppression is part of I'll say the escalation of somebody's world conquering rampage. And it is the epitome of stupidity to think that you can boast as the most dynamic and profitable and powerful country in the world and have the sickest people, have incarcerated the greatest number, have marginalized, anesthetized, inebriated, intoxicated, violated, stupefied, behaviorally modified almost everybody, and then boast that you are in some degree supreme and better than everybody else. And I'm just saying that is just stupidity. It is the evidence of toxicity. All right, so toxic bloodstream creates toxic thought. Now, nobody should be in a place and space where they feel entitled to be killing themselves. Well, you know, sister, you gotta die of something. You know, you what? And I'm like, no, you will have to die, but why let it be of stupidity and you killing yourself? But death should not be your destiny, your fate, your culmination, or any of that. Why? Because we're already living in heaven and we're already in the realm of eternity. Now, if you got into that body, not as a dead person, and you're a living being, eating of death is going to marginalize your experience here. All right? Because everybody is not really happy. Everybody's not joyful. Everybody's not creative. Everybody isn't really enjoying this reality. Everybody is not really rejoicing in how wealthy and how rich they are. People are struggling. You understand? People are having a very difficult time, not only in the dis-ease, but in the disrepair, the disrespect, the discontent, the dissatisfaction. You understand? The divorce, the separation, not being loved, not being loving, the anger, the frustration, the fixation. You understand? All of that is the evidence of not knowing yourself, not knowing the truth of yourself, having been in a place where you have been oppressed your entire life. So no, in order to really get leverage over that, no, you have to care. You got to go deep. You got to realize that there is no way in hell for you to get out of it alive if you're loving dying. And I'm saying, if you don't want your life, don't nobody give a shit whether you dare here or not. Get the hell on. You understand? But if you have children and you have people who need you and love you best to come to a point where you care to do it the way it needs to be done so that your children have the opportunity to experience their lives and not be dying before you, which is what the genocide is intended, that each generation has been assaulted with more garbage.
More, yeah.
Right? So now they're demanding that the babies coming out the womb have this, and this by the time you 3 or 4 years old. And I'm just saying, no, we need to bring this thing to a halt. It is by virtue of the wisdom and the love and the light and the care of women to raise up, to no longer participate, to be in a place and space where we know that there is no prosperity, there is no success that we can possibly have when we are complicit, complacent, and co-conspirating with our own oppression and our own demise.
I have 2 questions from what you were just saying. The word oppression, when I think of it, I immediately think of Black people and the residuals of slavery. And I feel like, I don't feel like this, but I've heard this, that a lot of people respond to the word oppression. When people feel like they have risen above, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, or I'm this, or I'm successful, or this and that. They feel like they don't want to associate themselves with being oppressed. You hear people say, you know, you got to get over that. You know what I'm saying? It's not the white man's fault. And I almost feel like that idea was planted by them so that we can stop really recognizing what's happening. You don't have to be a victim to know that there is oppression. There's an oppression game happening, you know?
Right, and all you see is oppression. You don't see the light of those who are the descendants of those who built and raised nations and civilizations. Mm-hmm. You understand? So when we go back, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers, great-great-great-great-great-great. I'm just saying, there's greatness already in the DNA, but the methodology of our oppression is to put us in a DNA lockdown. You understand? Now, I've got like hundreds and hundreds of old Ebony magazines and Jet magazines and Life magazines and all of this. And the cigarette companies and the alcohol companies are the major advertisers in those magazines that were specifically dedicated to us and as readership. All right? And so I'm just saying is that, no, this has been a program that when I was a child watching movies with my parents and the Cary Grants and the John Waynes and all of these ones that some of you all may not know unless you go into the archives of television, right, to understand that the martini and the drink and the cigarettes and all of this stuff was part of the programming. And the doctors were even having a conversation in the commercials about Camel cigarettes and this, that, and the other. So I'm just saying, no, we have been programmed to disregard, disrespect the divinity, the sanctity, and the sacredness of life. I am one who is intensely intentional in reminding us that there is absolute law that governs all of existence itself. And there is order. And in order for us to come to a point where we have leverage over the tools of our oppression, we have to cleanse from having been permeated and penetrated in every atom and every cell and every gland and every organ of our body with garbage. And the garbage, the bigger you are, the more garbage there is. The bigger you are, the less nutrition you actually are having. The behavior modification has been to have us addicted to things. The appetite is not for life. The appetite is for death. The appetite is for that which undermines you. You understand? The appetite is for that. And then after having a big meal and whatever, you sit back and you do not have energy because all of the blood from the brain is being directed to the stomach, but then you're eating that which is literally indigestible. All right. And so we can have the feeling that we're successful. And I'm saying, no, real success is being to get off this planet without having died. You understand? See, we think that Webster and these ones are the only ones who have the right to define No, we have the right to define.
Absolutely.
Right? We have the
Yeah.
right to make a determination that we will be fully participatory in the emergence of the kingdoms and queendoms of God through the clearing, the cleansing, the purification, the consecration of our bodies as the temples for the re-enthronement of the true spirit of the living God, Goddess, that is our truth. So when we talk about identity theft, it's not just the Social Security, all of that. No, it's about us not realizing that we are these points of this absolute and supreme intelligence, and supreme intelligence is our gift. But that's the anesthetization and the oppression is the intelligence. Now, everybody's got life. Everybody's been given life. Everybody is breathing and whatnot. Now, nobody will ever have anything greater than themselves. I'll say it again. Nobody will ever have anything greater than themselves. Nobody will ever have anything greater than themselves. And then if you feel like shit, can't do shit, don't feel, you understand, can't shit, this, that, and the other, then no, you are the one who had full responsibility to make commitment to your life and make commitment to that which is the source of your life.
Yeah.
And that's what we're having to really care to do. And when you care to be committed to living, you understand, you can go into any of the scriptures, right? And you can read the writings of the prophets, you understand, or even just the Psalms, that 91st Psalm, the 23rd Psalm, you understand, you have to come to a point where you center yourself in an exalted care and desire for your wholeness, because nobody cares. You understand, nobody really cares that you get out of this alive. We surrounded ourselves with people who will light your crack pipe, light your joint, serve you alcohol, this, that, and the other, hang out with you to all times of the night. I drive sometimes down Trinity and whatnot, or Edgewood, and see the sisters still in the really short skirts and the pumps, and no matter how small or how big they are, and they're going into these places where you, get approached by somebody who don't want nothing but to deposit his nastiness inside your body. You understand? And we think that this vanity thing that we got going on, that there's a whole nother thing about what beauty actually is. You understand? Beauty and vanity don't have anything to do with each other. You understand? Beauty is really when we tap the essence of the divinity and the truth of ourselves in our alignment with the laws that govern life, that we accept as women. Our responsibility to be the insurance of the progression of our people.
Speaking of women, I've noticed just from my limited, I guess, research, when I first learned of, I guess, herbs and healing and things like that, it was from Dr. Savy and then Dr. Africa. Those are the first two. And then there's a couple of other guys, but you are the first woman that I knew of and got the honor to meet. And there's another woman. She's out of Louisiana. Her name is Crystal, and she has a company. She grows and sells herbs. It's the Goddess Collection, and she reminds me so much of you. She needs to meet you. But it's like she also is just like, where are the women? And I don't know if I'm missing something, but where are the women that or is it just men are being popularized more than women? Like, what's happening where I know about more men herbalists than women? And is it supposed to be one or the other?
Well, I'll put it this way. Both man and woman have duty and obligation to know how to live.
Okay.
How to feed, how to eat, and should have some concern about the perpetuation of themselves, their lineages. Right? We're equally accountable and responsible to that which is the intelligence of our being.
Got it.
The issue for us is coming to a point where we realize that the behavior modification that has happened in the sense that women have been supported in not being in the household. And that we were supported in getting our education. We were supported in going to college and going to school and getting our master's degrees and our PhDs. All right, because the whole point was, how do we come up in this world?
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of the sisters and a lot of the wise woman energy, we've kind of disconnected from it. And I think that this is part of the programming being under a global initiative of depopulation and genocide, where Aboriginal, Native, and Indigenous people were supported in going into the educational systems of their oppressors.
And it's
The
supported
Caucasian.
highly to get the women there.
Right, and so we're running things.
Yeah.
Women are managers. We're administrators. And then those of us who went to school and we pledged sororities and fraternities and whatnot. We were being groomed to take leadership in the society.
Yeah.
The Eastern Star and the Masons and all of this from time. Now, mind you, my grandmother was college educated, all right, at Spelman. And so most of my family is college educated. But the college education is the thing that puts us in a place where we no longer trust, or we're in a place because of the miseducation and then the oppression that is happening at the cellular level, where our capacity for true thought has been marginalized. This is what oppression actually is. That we are out of attunement with our direct line of light, with our angels, our guides, our guardians, our ancients, and to be under the auspices of our soul. We have been disconnected from the power of the earth and being in a place where we understand our connection to the earth. And to have been in a place where our faculties are so polluted and occluded that we're not able to hear from the earth, from the trees, from the plants. And then being in concrete jungles that we call the modern cities
The smart cities.
has disconnected us so much. So there are women who are shifting now. I've been about this for close to 50 years now, right? And so I know that there are many, many sisters who have listened to me in the 24 years I've been on radio, got their opening for vegetarianism when I had my strict vegetarian restaurant, Little 5 Points, from 94. And these sisters are mothers and they are grandmothers and whatnot. And a lot of them took it into heart. They're just not in a place necessarily where they are in front of the cameras. They're not in a place where they want to, ride the wave of multi-billion-dollar industry in health and wellness, per se.
Yep. Because then it turns into something else. Like, I feel like instead of being the woman that has her bag of herbs, it's the boss chick with her like fancy coffee, and those two go together, and it's not sustainable.
And so everywhere there is the man with the womb, everywhere that we are, we should be exalting a full effort in living in harmony with the laws, the love, the light, the wisdom, and the truths of our being. All right? Our education and our religious indoctrination does not absolve us of our responsibility to knock and ask and seek and pray for solution.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before. When you see your children are having issues, you don't necessarily, and the doctor's just giving you baby Tylenol or baby aspirin or this and that. No, you have to begin to seek and knock and ask, because things will show up for you. Now, this is a reality of that. We're dwelling in nothing but absolute and supreme intelligence. This room and every room where we are and every space where we are, the earth herself is spinning in nothing but a cosmic ocean of nothing but intelligence. And we each have been apportioned so much of that as the presence and the intelligence that we are as living beings, as living spirits. When we free ourselves, when we liberate at the cellular level from the carcasses that are rotting and the pesticides, the herbicides, and when we free ourselves up, which is a consistent daily effort over time, we regain our footing upon the path of eternal life. We gain our footing in terms of activating our DNA, because many of us have come through healers. We've come through ones who do what they do. I do what my people do because it was already in me. You understand?
Yeah.
But to come to a point and place where we are always looking to those who did not have our best interests at heart for answer and solution in our lives, and we'll go to their institutions of death care and open up our legs and bend our backsides and have them permeating and putting stuff in every orifice of our body. And we will not cleanse ourselves. We will not utilize that which is coming from the earth. I'm just saying is that's a mindset, but that's the program. And so our daily ritual of how we love ourselves, how we are literally caring to respond correctly and directly to what is needed in our now moment. Because really, nobody wants to see their children pass away with cancer and heart disease and diabetes and all of this. I mean, why? But we're perpetuating stuff. We're having to take responsibility for all of the programming that's happening, but you're feeding your children red dye and blue lake this and all of this garbage. And I'm saying you are a detriment to your lineages. We are here to honor our lineages.
Somebody said on in one of the last post when you were breaking it down like that, somebody commented, said, yeah, that's why, I think it was a teacher, and she was saying that's why I tell a lot of my parents when their children have ADHD, stop feeding them, certain things with all these chemicals and dyes and colors and stuff in there. And then somebody else responded, as someone with ADHD, it's definitely genetic. And so for you to assume that it's just about processed foods means you don't have an understanding about how receptors really work. And it was just such a proud statement to keep doing what they wanted to do.
Right.
And when it comes to genetics, is anything genetic?
Well, heredity and the behavior modification is reprogramming DNA.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying, we're on a DNA lockdown, but it's also where they're saying, oh, well, you've got the gene for this and you've got the gene for that. When we remember that our bodies are 80% water, should be. Mm-hmm. But now the body is 80% mucus, 80% acidity, 80% acid crystals, 80% every other thing. But we're born with all the eggs we'll ever have. Mm. And all of those artificial colors and all those artificial flavors and all of that BHA and BHT and pesticides and herbicides and stuff and the birth control, extra estrogens, we are transferring this through our eggs to our children.
Okay.
All right. And so I am really one to advocate that one. If you are eating the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, artificial colors, artificial flavors, FD and C colorings, things that have been on shelves and in packages indefinitely and whatnot, then you are not really able to function in the fullness of the divinity of who you are and whose you are as a living intelligence that is destined for greatness.
What do you tell people? Because I hear people who ask this all the time. Well, Adama, you just X'd out my whole grocery list. Like,
good. Stop giving these people money, baby.
No,
Why
exactly.
Supporting?
But I think some people get discouraged rather than empowered.
Well, the issue is this, right? Do you want to live or not? Do you want to love or not? Do you want to really know the and experience the blessing of what it is to be, the gift of God? Do you want that? If you want that, then realize that this is a program. You're not finding Wonder White bread coming off trees. You understand? You're not finding cigarettes coming off trees. I'm just saying, it's like, no, we're here to be harmonized with the earth. And we have to take what's coming from the earth into our bodies to cleanse out what man has created. Or what mankind or those who are kind of men have created in their desperation to make sure that they've inebriated, anesthetized, stupefied, miseducated, religiously indoctrinated, and whatnot, so that they themselves make themselves seem superior. There's no superiority in stupidity. There's no superiority in wickedness. The only supremacy and superiority there is in absolute love and absolute law.
When you speak of the intelligence, someone, I love that I get to speak about what people are saying in real time about the intelligence, and the post today was just about we are the only intelligent creatures that basically choose to kill ourselves, and a few people were wondering what other creatures are intelligent. When you speak of intelligence, are you the intelligence God? God is the intelligence that created. What is
we refer to it as God. God is really man-made.
Okay. Yeah.
The intelligence of existence.
The intelligence of
existence, that which is foundational, causational, beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal, that is perfectly and divinely designed us to be vehicles and vessels for its own personification and its own glorification in who we each are as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of it. Now, every eye that sees as an eye of what we refer to as God, but every being is intelligent. You understand? Yeah. Intelligence is all there is, right? Everything that exists by virtue of this absolute and supreme intelligence. All right? And everything responds to love. Right? So those who have their pets and they love their pets, and you can communicate with your pets, and your pets know when you're not well, and they come and they sit by you and they stay by you because they are intelligence. They sense things. You understand?
Yeah.
But to be in a system that honors and respects dogs and cats, but then totally violates, bastardizes, usurps, poisons all of the animals being raised for human consumption. They have no protection under the law. The cats and the dogs do. All right, but the animals that they are eating have no protection. They are the most bastardized, usurped creatures. And their spirits are still intelligent, even though they're hybridized. So you don't see chicken anywhere naturally in life, except where they're cultivated. You don't see pigs just naturally in life like you see possum and deer and squirrel. And you understand, there's certain animals that we see all around us. And depending on how far in the country you are, how far outside of the city you are, you see more. You see the armadillos, you see different things. And if you go into the woods, you find different things. You go up to the North Georgia mountains, you find bear, you find different. You understand? You don't find pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken just naturally. All right, so if we were carnivores, if we were flesh eaters, these would not be the animals that we would be eating. And they're the most bastardized creatures, so we're absorbing so much of their pain, their frustration, their anguish, their angst and whatnot, and it's being charged upon our blood. So the spirit is charged upon the blood, and now the etheric energy that has been tainted, been permeating those animals' flesh that people are eating, now that energy is transferred into our spirit. So it is the anger, it is the frustration, it is the pissation, it is the depression, it is the bipolarism, it is the schizophrenia. And then we go and get medication. We're not cleansing. I'm saying you can reverse any of the issues, but you got to get the issues out your tissues.
You got to get the issues out your tissues.
You got to get them out.
Yeah. So speaking of that, mom being a retired medical doctor, she used her degree to get out the hood, and so she was very loyal to what she's learned, what has, in her eyes, gotten her out of like poverty and the sickness that was around her. And when I started bringing herbs around her and she was still taking all her white pills, it was a conversation, and she was like, well, this is all derived from plants. And I'm like, Mom, they can put one little drop of a isolated plant that they found out, and the rest is going to be synthetic.
Right.
What is because you did speak about, like, it's not even just about the veganism, it's the chemicals. What is happening with these synthetic pills? Like, what is that actually? It's just it's acidity in the blood.
It's creating more issues. It's creating side effects because, see, the issue is this: you're never being asked what you're consuming. All right, so there's no real targeted issue in terms of what's causing your issue.
Yeah.
And so that's when I consult with people, take me through your day. How do you start your day? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What, how are your bowels moving? Da, 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 right? The doctors never ask. They never ask. And they never spend that kind of time with you, you know, to really understand the lifestyle or the death style to get to a point where you can really counsel and guide towards the actual cleansing, because you cannot heal without the cleansing. And so therefore, all of the medications begin to literally concentrate in all of the paste and the mucus, right? And so the acidity begins to literally wear away at the connective tissue. So this is why a lot of people are having the hip replacement surgeries and the knee replacement surgeries, because the cartilage, and they're having to have the vertebrae in their backs fused because the cartilage is gone, or the myelin sheath with the MS, and all of this because of how much acidity. So anything that we're consuming other than your herbal teas, your fresh fruit, your leafy greens, your vegetation, things that grow above ground, is going to create acidity in the body. The medication is going to add to the acidity. It may neutralize the receptors or whatever so that you don't feel the pain. It may marginalize how your blood pressure is showing up, but it doesn't heal anything.
Got it. Because everything is being measured upon a system that they created anyway.
And I'm like, where are they getting the numbers?
Yeah.
Where do they get their numbers from? And say, oh, well, my PSA was this, and my this was that, and my this was that. And I'm saying, but you got 40 years of shit in your body. You understand? So everything can be rendered dysfunctional.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're 5'7", say you 5'3", and you 250 pounds, they can't really give you an adequate diagnosis of anything until you get the waste out. In my mind.
Yeah.
You understand? Because what is happening is that the organs and the glands are poisoned. And then you have the worms, the organisms, and the parasites that are dropping their own eggs. And they live and thrive in oxygen deficiency. Anaerobic bacteria, this is where cancer comes from, is the lack of oxygen. Now, we're breatharian by nature. We have to breathe. It is the breath that is the animating, maintaining, sustaining force of our lives. All right? Everything that we're consuming that is made with flour and water is going to block and obstruct your sinuses, your lungs, your bronchioles, and then all of that mucus begins to be heavy laden throughout the body, where now your organs are compacted in mucus. So even if you're eating a vegan diet, there's no nutrition that's getting into your cells. You have to bypass the digestive system, go directly to the bloodstream, and that's with your herbs, your water. You understand? Your fresh fruit, your leafy greens. Most people don't eat enough fruit because the doctors have sworn us off fruit.
Yeah, saying it's too high in sugar and things like that.
Right.
Would you say that, like how you just listed all that, when a lot of people say, yeah, I eat clean. I eat pretty clean. And it's just like these words are so vague. And so like, it's like, what does that even mean? Would you say that your food needs to be nutritious? Is that the word that you can use to identify if you should eat it?
Nutritarian.
A nutritarian.
Nutritarian. You in for the nutrients.
If it's not nutrient rich,
it's not doing you any good.
Regardless if it's got trans fats and all this and that.
The issue is whatever we get in consuming off a shelf.
Yeah. It's going to stay that long in our body afterwards. If it can stay for 6 years,
right, and you got
on the shelf.
all of these chemicals in order to really allow things, because real fueling food, I don't even like to really use the term food anymore, because food is oppressive. We're feeding the body. We're not fueling the body. We're not oxygenating, hydrating, mineralizing, alkalizing, facilitating consistent cellular repair, regeneration, rejuvenation, and consciousness expansion. That should be life. That's living. That as we're maturing, we become more refined, more defined, more of the divinity of who we are born to be as the progression of our lineages. You understand? So that a young woman at 20, 21 who has avoided, right, alcohol, tobacco, casual sex, and been fed fresh fruit, leafy greens, vegetations, taught how to cleanse herself and whatnot, she's going to have a totally different experience than those who are fed pig's feet, you understand, pork chops, all of this stuff, sodas, and all of that by 21. All right. Now, by 40, the one who's fed all this meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and all that is having the wombs removed because of the fibroids. You understand? So I have to ask sisters, have you had any surgeries? Oh, the tonsillectomy when I was a child. Then it was a gallbladder. Then it
appendix,
was
that's a big one.
Right, yeah. So I'm just saying, it's like, how do you even maintain the integrity of your body when you don't have much of yourself left? You understand? I'm just saying, it's like,
and there's people in my family that'll be like, well, that's considered an organ that you can live without. It's like, y'all let y'all doctor tell y'all that?
Because we don't have any orientation as to what is required in order to get out the body alive. We feel like we're supposed to die, and at this particular point in time, I'm saying, no, death is like your spirit, your life currency has been usurped. So when we talk about currency, they're talking about the money, paper currency. They're talking about digital currency. I'm saying, no, none of it that is man-made is greater than your own life currency.
Your life currency.
Okay, so practicing the presence of your God self allows you to consistently increase your life currency. You understand? And your life currency, in its increasing, ever expanding, you understand? It's like it's limitless. The creativity, or being a clear, clean vehicle and vessel of the Creator's activity, means that your glory in this life, your honor, the good that you can do, how you stand. You understand? We have to begin to look at the quality of beings that we care to walk as. That's what liberation actually is. But liberation isn't really the conversation. They're having a conversation about equity, gentrification, parity, but liberation is not the conversation. I'm saying, no, the liberation never happened. Our going to school of our slave masters was not liberating. It allowed us to have license, certification, and degreeing to participate as profiteers under the degradation, violation, miseducation, subjugation of our people. And we maintain it and sustain it as principals, as doctors, as surgeons. And I'm just saying is that wherever you are the man with the womb, your direct duty, obligation, and responsibility is to that which is beating your heart and breathing you. But there's only one absolute and supreme intelligence that is beating all of our hearts and breathing us. And so that's what we want to do. We want to come to a point and place where we realize that every body needs cleansing. Every spirit that is in the body is of God. And whatever is marginalizing us to the degree to which we feel like it's okay to be stupid, it's okay to ignore the gift of your being, all of that is the behavior modification. But it can be reversed through the clearing, the cleansing, the purification, the consecration. So purifying the body on a daily basis, hydration, oxygenation, mineralization, opening up the channels of elimination, sweating these poisons out, doing the enemas, doing the douching, pulling and facilitating the body's natural process, and doing it on a daily basis.
Doing it on a daily basis.
You understand? Now, if you've been diagnosed with anything, you might have to be a little bit more intense about it. If you've got cancer, if they say you got third stage kidney disease, you might have to be a little bit more intense. But I tell you, you can reverse any of it.
Speaking of the behavior modification that we've all been subjected to, when it comes to women, do you believe that we've been modified into the space of not wanting to have children. Do you think that that's a societal thing, or do you think that that is a spiritual thing that says, hey, I can be a mother to all these other children who need mothering? Do you think that it's the best thing that we can do as women is to reproduce if we can?
I think that if you don't know and don't care to be in alignment with the truth of yourself and the divinity of all self, then don't have children. I mean, just really, if you don't care to realize that there is order and that the order is to be maintained and sustained by a woman. You understand? So you have women who have a natural inclination towards mothering. But see, that's part of our programming. We were given baby dolls when we were children. You understand? We were being prepared at some levels. We were taught how to prepare food. We were taught how to cook. We were taught how to clean. You understand, many of us, and I'm not saying all sisters got that, but most of us got some of that.
Yeah.
Right? That we were being, this is part of the natural responsibility and the perpetuation of our lineages.
Yeah.
But when you have been suppressed and oppressed, stupefied, anesthetized, inebriated, intoxicated, cracked, addicted, heroin addicted, all of this, then no, you need to really, really clear, cleanse, consecrate, purify, and whatnot before you even try to have a child. That's going to be the better thing.
And if that takes a lifetime, then that just takes a lifetime.
It's just going to take some time. It just depends on the intensity of the person. You understand? Because, see, we can accomplish whatever we will. All right?
Yeah.
We're immersed in the infinity of possibilities. I would never tell a sister, don't have children, don't care to have children. The issue is many of us don't care to have children because we don't have the right partner. We don't have the husband. Now, men are not in a mindset where they really understand the beauty and the blessedness of what it is to be a father. You understand that the suppression and the oppression has put men in a place, or brothers in a place, where they really want to play the field. They can't think about just having one woman all of their lives. And not to say that you only have to have one woman all of your life, because what we're dealing with is that at 16, 17, 18, you had your high school girlfriend. Y'all stayed together for several years, and then you might have had a baby, or you might have aborted, right? And then you break up, and then you get another sister. And that might be your 20s to 30s. And then y'all may have a baby, or you may have a few, and then y'all break up. You understand? And you have these children, and you get another woman over here. So you have brothers that have a family, they have children over here, children over here, children over here, children over here, children over here. You understand? But the issue is, how are you caring for them? Are you walking in the light of the truth? It's one thing to make babies. It's another thing to really ensure the progression of the lineage. And that's by virtue of the substance of the quality of beings that we are, and how we walk and how we stand, and our moral fiber, and you understand the high frequency of the energy and whatnot. And so, love is a necessity. You understand? Love is a necessity. We need to have that. We need to know how to love, how to nourish, how to care, how to enhance, how to respect, how to honor, how to cherish, how to treasure. You understand? And when you have that in a relationship, and I'm not even just limiting that to heterosexuality. I'm talking relationships, period.
Yeah.
That you understand, because you don't bring children into the world and maintain and create children by yourself.
I remember one time I heard Dr. Africa say, when the woman gets pregnant, the man does too.
Right.
What do you think? That's just a sense of like how much
connected,
yeah.
Right. How connected we are. And sometimes the brother will note it that the pregnancy is happening before she does. And I saw my son's father, he just went from 6'2" to 150 pounds to 200 pounds during my pregnancy. Right? He was in California, and I was here in Atlanta.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
The issue for us is really, one, consciously caring to cultivate love. and not just being quick to have sex. For abortion to be one of the greatest number of deaths that our people are experiencing, there's an issue for me with that. And I'm not really just making it all about the sister.
Yeah.
You know, and the brothers who be bashing the homosexuals, I say, are the homosexuals the ones who are aborting all these babies? No. Why are we in a place where we're sharing the most sacred parts of ourselves with someone that we do not have any commitment to? You understand? But this is the impact and the effect of the inebriation, the intoxication, the cellular oppression, all of this garbage where, you know, the hormones are raging, you know, you got an itch that needs to be scratched, and he looked good and he feel good and all of this, and he said all the right things, and he got the nice car, and did you even ask if he had a wife and children? You didn't even ask if he had a wife and children. Wives and children.
You just going with the vibes.
You understand? So I'm just saying is that our whole reality has been influenced and predicated on our cellular oppression. We can shift this. We can change this. We don't have to participate in it. You understand? Your generation, your children need not have to go through any of it. You understand? But you have to be woman enough and caring enough and loving enough to know that you want to be married. You want to know what it is to love a man and become one with a man. You want to be in a place and space where you believe and you have faith and trust in a man who has your best interests at heart. He is a part of his reason for being is to love you, to nurture you, to strengthen you, and vice versa. You understand? But we don't have that kind of commitment. But that kind of commitment can be easily facilitated when you're committed to God, when you're committed to light, when you're committed to life, when you're committed to purpose in being, and you ain't trying to be a whore out here. You understand? You ain't trying to just have notches on your belt. You understand? We're cleaning up our act so that we can write and be corrected. Because the adulteration brought all of that forward. You understand? But we don't have to live in adulteration. We could be completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, revivified, and the resurrection is the only real success that we can have, is to be fully participatory in our being reinstated, reconciled, harmonized with the divinity, the sanctity, and the sacredness of our lives, and that we care to honor ourselves. We care to honor the lineages through whom we've come. We want our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-great, we want them to look at us from the exalted realm and say, that's my baby. You understand? We want them to be proud of us. We don't want them to be like, you know, slapping us across the galaxy if we can get out of this alive. You understand? If we can get out. And then you go into the realm in which they are, and you get slapped across the galaxy because you did not do what you were supposed to do, which was to honor, which was to glorify, which is to shine.
Yeah.
And why would we not want that?
There's so many distractions, because I swear that the number one thing now is get money, get money, get money, get money, be successful, be the first CEO to do this, and be the first entrepreneur to do that. And while we can use our gifts to make money and be able to provide for our families and generations and stuff like that, there's some type of disconnect, because I believe, like you said, like, it doesn't replace what else needs to be happening.
Exactly. And the money, I mean, who's printing the money? Whose money is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's paper. We can have it, utilize it. I think on my way in, I got 3 phone calls back to back. You've been qualified for $72,000. I said, oh, okay. By the time I finished the third, I said, okay, that's $221,000. Dollars. It's actually $210,000 that was offered to me in 10 minutes from my getting here. I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy. Where are they getting it all from?
And so I'm just saying is that, yes, we really have to understand that everything is still by law. We were told, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all else would be added unto us. We are not here to be impoverished. We've already been given life. Life is the greatest gift. It's the greatest blessing. Your life currency can be consistently poured into, consistently expanded. You understand? Your life currency puts us in places like this. When we come together, it's like it's a charge, right? And this energy is going to touch the world. That's not about money. It's about the life currency. It's about the care. It's about the wisdom. It's about the cultivation. It's about the respect. You understand? You're hearing me. And you're receiving and allowing yourself to think about it, to contemplate it, to come to me, and then to create a platform that we can be influential in shifting this paradigm of sickness, illness, disease, and death. That doesn't have anything to do with money. It has everything to do with care. It has everything to do with respect and love. It has everything to do with what being is, what purpose in being actually is, to exalt life and to ensure that we are doing that which is a glory and honor to that which is beating our hearts and breathing us, that we have not remembered that there were nations here on this continent whose blood is still screaming out. The billions of animals that are being slaughtered so that they can rot in our bodies, so that the earth just continues to open up as a tomb for all the life she brought forth. I'm saying we don't have to participate with it. And in our now moment, it is time for us to rise. And if we don't care to participate, you do not have to, but I can guarantee you that you will never be able to think of a greater thought.
Truly,
you understand?
Truly, yeah.
And all invention, all the technology, all of this is the practical application of intelligence, meeting the need. We have all been gifted nothing but absolute and supreme intelligence. And that capacity for thought, for ingenuity, for creativity, for genius. That's what we're freeing. That's what the liberation looks like. That we're setting a whole new dynamic. So yeah, they have the intention to marginalize, anesthetize, inebriate, violate, you understand, genocide, zero population and all of that. Yes, they got that agenda. And you know what that agenda is going to get them? A tragic date with fate where they will never be allowed continuance in existence for the rest of all of eternity.
Yeah.
You understand? Because what? There is absolute law. What you do unto others will be done unto you. This is why we're suffering. Because we have brought the violation of violated beings and violated our blood. And we're suffering because of that.
You're liberating us all and so many with your message, and you do not sugarcoat a thing. And I wonder, I know that I have read stories about people that, doctors that have lost their license for coming out and talking about different things. They've disappeared, all types of horror stories. When you speak like this, and I know you cut from a different cloth, but have you ever, prayed for your safety or anything like that, or just experienced any type of threat?
I'm not afraid of dead people.
Period.
You understand? Some people like being dead. That's what we heard on the movie the other night. Some people enjoy being dead. But when you are the force of Satan, Lucifer, and the devil, you have no power and authority in my life.
Amen.
All right? You will meet your tragic date with fate. I'm not here to serve you. I'm not here to be afraid of you. You understand? And you, whoever you are, whoever they are still being animated by the same absolute and supreme intelligence that we all are. They just have such a filthy bloodline that they can't outthink this. And I'm saying, no, the truth is for everybody. You understand? They say, oh, well, sister, the truth ain't for everybody. I said, but the sun is for everybody. Breath is for everybody. Oxygen is for everybody. Truth is for everybody. They want death to be for everybody. And I'm saying, when you literally care, the consecration, the praying without ceasing, you understand, to be in a place where we are bathing in the thought of how blessed we are to be these points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. To know that we have the responsibility to do the obligation and the opportunity to be the insurance of the coming of the Lord, to be the evidence of the law restored, to be in a place and space where our lives and our lives of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, our great, that we are living, that these people and their stupidity cannot stop the eternal order. They cannot stop the establishment of the kingdoms and queendoms of light. You understand? And yes, there may be remnants. You understand?
Yeah.
There may be remnants because their intention is to marginalize the planet to the degree that there are only 500 million people left.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when I was in college, it was just to eliminate 3.5 billion people, which was still left 5 billion people on the planet. Now it's like, okay, depopulate the entire planet. All right. And so I'm just saying is that we have to care to not just survive. We have to care to raise completely up. We do not have to support this. We do not have to be in a place where we're complicit with it. We're conspiring with it. We do not have to be the agents of these ones and their stupidity. We do not have to. But we do have to be cleansed and purified so that we're able to get into a direct line of light with our angels, our guides, our guardians, our ancients, and to harmonize with the will of existence, the laws of existence, the intelligence of existence, and that which we refer to as God.
Before I get into how much you care and in the many decades of work that you've done to help us all, I just want to touch on the they, because I hear this so much. It's like, who is they? Who is they? Everyone's always talking about the they, the elite. Is there a way to sum that up for the people so that they can understand, like, that there may be people that you don't see, or powers, or not even powers because they're not powerful, but just how do you reference that or explain that to people who think it's just a conspiracy?
But the issue for us is that we see that the billionaires, now, would they have any money? If all the billionaires decide to take their money out of circulation, what would they do? I mean, everybody's using the same currency.
Yeah.
You know, they just have access to things. But the reality for us is realizing that organized government and organized religion and miseducation are working collaboratively. Now, we can go online and we can look at who are the CEOs of Monsanto's. You understand?
Yeah.
Who is the CEOs of Bayer or Bayer? Right? These are the Germans, right? Bayer aspirin was one of the things in our households, but these are some of the ones who are literally a part of the issues, right? And so it's not like it's conspiracy. It's just that these people are living in plain sight.
Yeah.
You don't see them, but you are affected by what they've put in place. Now, the issue is that you have the responsibility to become sovereign and self-governing within yourself as a living being, as a living presence. But when you're under them with the meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, flesh, flour, sugar, all of this, you have bypassed and you have forfeited your right alignment with God. And then you find yourself not being able to do anything other than participate with this because you do not have the clarity of mind, you do not have the faith, you do not have the confidence, you've not done the work. And so they, whoever they are, you know, are in their ivory towers, you know, in the banking systems and the Federal Reserve and the World Health Organization and the International Monetary Fund and the United Nations and all of this, we see.
Yeah.
They're organized.
They're organized.
They're these organizations.
And they got business plans, and we're the business.
And from the Vatican on. You understand? So nothing be happening without the seal of the Pope. It say all roads lead to Rome. You understand? This is why the churches are where they are, in the sense that they've never really liberated people, liberated from the lies and the delusions of thinking that someone needs to intercede for you.
Yeah.
When there is that which is beating your own heart and breathing you, that you have perfect opportunity on each and every breath to align yourself with it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm wanting us to realize that what they do is not the issue. Is why are you killing yourself? Why are you blowing up? Why are you killing your children? Why are you not understanding that you are so precious and so divine and so gifted and so talented and so beautiful and so necessary?
Yeah.
That you can't see that there are forces in place to make sure that you never arrive in destiny, that you will have a tragic date with fate and you will die here.
Yeah.
It's about choice. It's about
Everyone
the activation of the spirit, because one, we weren't given choice. We were given this. You understand? We were told this. It wasn't a choice. It's not like, well, you can be free within yourself and you can be creative and you can become this and you can be or we can, have you a part of the system of things.
Right.
No, you weren't
From
given
the
a
minute
choice.
we were born.
You weren't given
Our
a choice.
parents was already in line.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Grandparents were being influenced. Great-grandparents were being influenced.
Yeah.
You understand? So all I'm saying is that here we are in a now moment of eternity where the veil is lifted, right? You see who running Oz. You understand? I'm just saying we have the capacity, the duty, the obligation, the responsibility to care to be in alignment with purpose in being. And the purpose is in the exaltation of life, the honoring, the glorification, the being in the fullness of your intelligence, your beauty, your depth, your power, your sensibility, the knowing of what it is to be loved and what it is to be cherished and honored, the ability to see your children come forward and flourish. And you understand, I'm just saying, that's real life. Life ain't just, aborting babies and anesthetize and inebriate and intoxicating and being in the fullness of vanity and stupidity.
Yeah.
That's not life.
Yeah, it's not. And like you said, people are suffering. People are suffering. I have a few more things before we go. I wanted to know Mother's Earth Blessing?
Mother Earth's Blessing.
Mother Earth
Holistic
Blessing.
Life Center.
Holistic Life Center. What is your purpose behind that? What do you offer the people that come through your doors? What can they expect? Or, like in first coming there and saying, hey, I heard about you. I need you.
Have a conversation, sit down, and let me know what's going on. Where are you?
Let
what
them
do you
speak
need?
to you.
We have a conversation, and people who are not present, they can call me, and they do call me. And one brother called me from Canada. He saw the link.
The link.
Your link.
Oh, he did.
He saw the link.
Oh,
then he
that.
went to the and watched the whole
so
thing,
much.
and then he called me right up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so just to say that, I'm here to ensure that you get what you need. You need to be inspired. It's not just about information. It's not just about the herbs. I have the herbs, I have the clays, I have the enema bags. I can do formulations for you, but you need to be supported in knowing that your life is your gift. And we got 24 hours, 7 day a week support in our dying. So we provide support for your life and for your generations. Because most of us are not considering and even thinking about our grandchildren or great-grandchildren or great, 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 great. You understand? But we are not even considering our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, our fathers, our great great, and our great great. But we are the bridge between those who've come and those who could come, to make restitution for those that we didn't allow to come.
Yeah.
And to lay a better foundation for those who do. So the counseling, the inspiration, the protocols, the package, the instructions, the affirmations, the opportunity to join my Tuesday night Zoom call for those who are on the protocols, and then to have a direct connect. Because what happens with so many ones, they begin to get the opening. And then, but it's so many other people saying so many different things.
Yeah.
And what I find is that you're going to experience a consciousness expansion. There's no way to miss it, right? And then that brings you into the awareness of all these other ones who are saying all these other things. But when you really listen to them, none of them are really saying what I'm saying in terms of the body's daily cleansing. We think it's just a 30-day detox, or it's just, becoming plant-based, or it's just
The
nobody's
trends,
really speaking to the issues of our salvation, our liberation, our resurrection, and ensuring our true success upon the planet. And so we sit and we talk, and prayerfully you invest in yourself, and we keep it going.
Keep it going. You definitely are such a huge inspiration.
Yay. Yay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are a blessing to be here, to just be here. Wow. One last question I wanted to know is, if you could, or if you ever do, from your mind's eye, what does this world look like in 10, 20 years? What are we doing?
I think we're going to lose a lot of the coast. I think that the waters are rising. The violations and the inability of people to make correction fast enough to atone for our sinfulness. That the earth herself is making adjustments.
Is everybody gonna be gone? We
Well,
started from scratch.
That's what I'm saying. We got remnants. You understand?
Okay, it's gonna be a little remnant.
We're clearing, cleansing, consecrating, so that we become the salt of the earth. Now, I have a vision, right, where the earth is the size of a period at the end of a sentence in relationship to the rest of the eternity in which we're living. Right? We're being surveyed. We've got exalted spirit beings working with us, or would work with us if we would do the work. All right? Now, we haven't really made the connection between the frequency and the energy that we're radiating and emanating, and how it affects the earth, how it affects the air. But if we were to bathe ourselves in the love of the absolute, if we were to bathe ourselves in the high frequency of understanding what love and gratitude and thanksgiving do for us in terms of opening the door of possibilities, and then enhance that with our clearing, our cleansing, our purification, consecration, we can offset some of the devastation that is coming.
Okay.
But I do believe that there is devastation that's coming, because the people are in a state of devastation, and their devastation is radiating and emanating from them. And so the more of us who get into the light of the truth of ourselves, the quicker, the better. And we will see whole other generations with babies that have not been shot up with shit, children that are thriving, grandchildren that are being healed, that we're seeing a whole nother degree of communication and activation with women all over the world who are raising up, you understand, in and out of official capacity. You do not have to be licensed, certified, or degreed to be a woman. You understand? They don't have to sign off on it. That's duty, obligation, and responsibility. That's why we don't have to have any fear about duty, obligation, and responsibility. God got you when you reaching for who you are as God's own. So as far as I'm concerned, for the rest of my life, I will be intensifying to ensure.
Gonna keep turning up.
You understand?
Yeah.
To ensure that more of you are activated and intensifying, and we are making a conscious effort to really be fully participating in the rise, the redemption, the reconciliation, the reorientation of who we are upon the path of eternal life while we're on the planet.
I'm here with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. It's such a
Thank you so
blessing.
much for being here. I want you, as always, look at that camera and just tell everyone where they can find you, however you would want them to contact you, if they pulling up, if they call and email and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the best way is to text or call me at 678-760-9299. Leave a message. I'll call you forward. If you're in Atlanta, you can come to 1830 Cheshire Bridge Road, Northeast. That's Atlanta 30324. We're open generally, say, Monday through Thursday from 1 to 8. Friday and Saturday, I care to open up at 2, from 2 to 8. If you need to schedule appointments or whatever, you can do that with the life support line. I'm on WRFG.org 89.3 FM every Thursday night, midnight to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there are archives on that website. I also have archives of my messaging with bbsradio.com, and you would just put in Adama Speaks. The Real Adama Speaks with IG, The Real Adama Speaks with YouTube, and then coming to a point in place where you are caring to show up, show out, and know that this is our time to rise, and I am here to help you. I have been literally, intentionally, to make sure that you get what you need so that you all walk in the glory and the truth of the divinity, the sanctity and the sacredness of who you are and whose you are. And that whatever they are doing don't have nothing to do with us, because we will no longer support it. We're no longer participating with it, and we're caring to be rightly aligned with our Creator. I bless you, blesses all over you, and literally walk the face of this earth knowing that your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and great, they deserve to be honored. And if you live with that intention, then your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren will live to honor you. And they may even call your name in 100 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next time. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Bye, guys.